Your broker tells you stop sending postcards. We're going to talk today about why this happens, what you should do, and what are the reasons for that. My name is Janine Sasso. I'm the owner and founder of the Hyperlocal Agent, and we help agents establish geographic farms and direct mail marketing for their real estate business. So just this week, I've had a conversation with somebody who's sending postcards, and they said, I can't send postcards. My broker said I had to get them approved first. Well, yes, because your broker is responsible for you, right? So any sort of marketing that you do obviously has the caveat of needing to be compliant and not bringing, any ethics hearings to your broker. Common sense, right? Because unless you are your own broker owner, you have to play by the rules. We all do. I do, right? So what is it that you can do? Does it mean you shouldn't send postcards? No, that's not what this means. So let's unpack it. Every brokerage has their own guidelines of what is allowed and what is not allowed, in addition to states having certain guidelines that you will need to follow for print marketing. Now, do you need to know all the rules? If you have a managing broker, you don't have to know all the rules, but you know how to get help. That's a big one. Do you know how to get your marketing pieces evaluated for compliance? If the answer is no, you should go to your broker straight away and say, hey, I'm looking to do marketing and I want to make sure it's compliant. What's the process here? And it's really, really simple. So I want to walk you through the process I have in place, because after sending so many pieces, yes, you get pretty good about what's allowed and what's not allowed. But as I first started, I asked the questions because, let's be honest, we don't know it all. So first up, I designed the marketing piece, and we do have a marketing department in my brokerage. So I decided I'm going to send them the marketing piece to evaluate. Always get it in writing, sending it in. And of course, there's things that came back. So a couple things that I had to make sure of. Making sure that my brokerage name is as big or bigger than my name. So I cannot put my name in the foreground and be like, hey, it's just me, right? There's other things such as disclaimers. Does your brokerage have a disclaimer you need to use? I can tell you mine is like 18 lines long. It's ridiculous, but hey, that's the rule, okay? I don't make the rules. I'm just with a brokerage and I have to follow the rules. So that disclaimer goes on every single marketing piece. These disclaimers get updated. It is my responsibility to make sure I have the most up-to-date disclaimer on my marketing pieces. Now, what else is on there? We do have certain guidelines for verbiage, right? We can't misrepresent in marketing. You do have other things like logos, right? If you have to have your logo on there. All these things are important. Now, when a brokerage says, don't send any postcards unless I've approved them, should this discourage you from using postcards? The answer is no. Because my second question is, if you post online that you are a real estate agent, do they have to approve every single post, every single email you send? Because technically they should. Okay, postcard is just another form of marketing. And making sure that it is compliant is your responsibility as a business owner. So again, do not take a broker saying stop sending without us seeing it as a negative to say, oh, I can't send postcards anymore. That's not the case. It means that you need to have a conversation with your broker of what is expected and what is acceptable. Your broker wants you out there. Your broker wants you out there closing deals, but your broker wants you to do that in a compliant manner that doesn't get you in trouble or them in trouble. So you need to know what is expected. Marketing department, if you have one, those are the best people to talk about because that is literally their jam all day long, right? If not, managing broker, talk to them. They have an extra license that they're holding to be accessible or to help you get these answers, okay? And then from there, you just need to be really strategic. I'll give you another example. When we send out our statistic postcards, we need to make sure we have on there the things that who sold it, if it wasn't all sold by me, what's the time frame that we're looking at. If we're quoting statistics, such as the number one agent, right? You need to have statistics on there that are verifiable. You can't just make these claims. Again, all of these things need to be considered, but that's the same that you should be considered online. Social media posting, email marketing, all of these are forms of advertising. So if you are getting discouraged, you're saying, hey, my broker won't allow me to send out postcards. Let's rephrase that. Is it because your broker doesn't want to send out things that he hasn't seen? Which again, in that conversation, ask about the social media policy, ask about the email policy. And if the answer is still like, no, we just don't want you to do postcards, well, if somebody is going to tell me how to do my business, that's the first indicator for me to look for a new broker. Again, you need to figure out what works for you, but you do need to do it in a way that matches your brokerage's guidelines. Postcards have worked for agents across the country. We've been diving deep into this and why it is really the strategy to use and leverage. Again, I hope you find this helpful. Little bit of food for thought today. And if you have any other questions, by all means, send in your questions. I would love to answer them as it relates to postcards and geographic farming. My name is Janine Sassel, and I'll see you in the next episode.